Welcome to TV Burp, face transplant on Holby.
You all set?
And in the same show, the curious case of the disappearing patient. There she is, look, being wheeled off. And gone. They're employing human road signs on Emmerdale.
Slow down! Emmerdale welcomes careful drivers.
Maximum speed, 30 miles an hour. Give way! Give way! Siamese twins make special guest appearance on Coronation Street. Between them, Corrie and Emmerdale really hammered home the old northern lingo this week.
Any news on the insurance?
Marvellous thing about the internet.
You've had a face on you like a prize heifer on its way to the abattoir.
There's no picture because the aerial needs to be routed through video to set, not the other way around.
All right, we get side deer. I say we get side deer. Ba-ba-da-ba. Ba-ba-da-ba. Friend's little grandson Joshua could have been on Kids Stars in their eyes.
How did you know?
I went pub when it happened.
Oh, yeah, you butler. Get the butter.
As a butcher, Fred likes to let you know what meat he's eating by making the sound of the animal that the meat's come off. Here he is after a nice lamb sandwich. What's this dog been eating?
You put your head right close.
Oh yes, it's a life of grime. And we were introduced to Tim, the rat catcher, who offered us rare insights into the life of the rat.
They're a very social animal, the rat. Believe it or not, they'll have periods of activity, periods of sex, they'll have then periods of rest, and then more activity and out looking for food.
Sex! He's clearly very fond of rats in his own way. Shame then that he has to go out and kill them. He's killed that one. He was surrendering, look. He's got his hands up. Rat fans.
Another bag of rats. Seem to be collecting rats just lately. This is certainly an Indiana Jones exercise, isn't it?
Yeah, we all remember that one, don't we? Indiana Jones and the carrier bag full of rats. He doesn't just chew open spaces, though, no. He clears rats from buildings, too.
It's known as a bathhouse. People would come here in the old days and shower and bathe.
It's Tim's guide to places of historic interest.
This is the Tower of London, which is a tower, and it's situated in London. On the left, Nelson's column, a tall column with a man in a hat on it, called Nelson.
New hospital drama, No Angels, on Channel 4. What do you take in when you're visiting a sick relative?
All right, Mum.
It's Tim's bag of rats from A Life of Crime.
Ooh, Battenberg.
Rattenberg, more like. But of course you can't beat Holby. They had someone in this week for a lung transplant.
Get well soon. Hope you like your new lungs. Love class 3A.
Yeah, hope you like your new lungs. Yeah, they had to make that card because they were right out of hope you like your new lungs cards down the newsagents. Yeah. Well, we've got a sorry to hear about your enlarged prostate card. Or congratulations on your hemorrhoidectomy card.
We're right out of lung'uns. You try bullies.
Meanwhile, on Footballers' Wives, the new script arrives. Things went up a gear this week as we discovered Conrad's sexual preferences.
I like sex. Man, woman, banana.
So deep in my heart, you're really a part of me.
That Tanya, though, she's pretty thick-skinned.
Tima better pay off if I'm going to live the way he wanted me to.
You can put out fags on her face. Amber's had to go undercover. She dons a pair of sunglasses and, well, can you place this accent?
Here we have the sunbeds.
Jess,
I never use this zombie, but here in this country, I need it.
Bongo or Mongo, they drink it in the Congo. She's a desperate woman, and she's had to resort to voodoo. Yeah, it doesn't look that much like Tanya, does it? Looks more like Vanessa Feltz. Taxi Nights now, in which we follow the adventures of taxi drivers and the people they give rides to. Great. And you know, when you're listening to a song and you're trying to sing along, but you're so drunk, there's a time delay between your brain hearing the words and it telling your mouth to sing them.
Oh, what a night. December back in 16. What a very
Oh, what a night. It was late December back in 63. Was a very special time for me. Drunk singing, great fun. The story of Noah now, in which Jeremy Bowen, off Breakfast Time, attempts to prove or disprove a Bible story.
It was part of my childhood, and it was probably part of yours. It's one of the great myths of human history.
Yeah, you think, well, the story of Noah, it's not the hardest one to disprove, is it?
Unless you make a leap of faith, the traditional Noah story doesn't pass any kind of rational historical test. Maybe it was never meant to. Maybe it was all made up.
He's got a nerve, hasn't he? You can imagine God up in heaven absolutely fuming. I don't mind him having a part, right? Questioning and that, but put someone decent onto it. I mean, Attenborough, Dimbleby, Jeremy Bowen, off Breakfast Time. You're having a laugh, aren't you? But no, off he goes to find out if Noah's Ark existed. Could it be that 4,000 years ago a man built a boat big enough to house 50 million different species, float around the earth for a while, everyone killed, land on a mountain, everyone out, start again? Is it true, Jeremy? Is it true? My brain hurts. Hello, I'm Jeremy Bowen, and this week I'm going to discover whether the story of Goldilocks and the Three Bears could actually have happened. Let's start at the beginning. Three bears living in a house together. Is that likely or even possible?
Well, the idea that three bears would live together in one house is extremely unlikely. As studies have shown, bears have extreme difficulty in remembering where they have left their keys.
No, it's much more likely that they would just create chaos in their frustration. They would lash out and knock things off the shelves, such as an ornamental doll. Or even a saucepan, such as this, which may be used to cook porridge in. And what are the chances of a bear actually being able to cook porridge?
No, I can't see that happening. Even if they were able to steal some porridge from Asda and get it into a pan, they wouldn't then be able to get the milk carton open. I think the bear would lose it and throw uncooked porridge flakes everywhere.
So, that's the bear side of it. But what of Goldilocks? Could a young girl have gained access to a bear's house, eaten its food, broken its furniture, and then slept in its bed?
Nein, impossible, a little girl. Don't make me laugh.
Certainly not a girl. But what about a tiny shaved pig in a blonde wig?
Yeah, now you're talking. A tiny shaved pig. Yeah, perfectly possible.
We know for a fact that pigs were shaved for festivals. And maybe if a wig got caught on one, then yes, it's perfectly possible.
And outside this reconstruction of what we think a bear's house would look like, inside is a bear. I've got with me my tiny shaved pig in a blonde wig. Let's see what happens when we go in. Well, I certainly didn't expect that. So who is better, Jeremy Bowen or God? There's only one way to find out. Welcome back. Emmerdale introduced new version for dogs. Broke-off Bow Selector makes surprise appearance on Heartbeat. My Family, the public have their say. On Corrie's slangy match between Liz and Karen.
Because he deserves better than a common little tart who'll drop her knickers for any man who whips out his wallet.
Round one to Liz.
The gobby, brawling little slapper that you really are.
Round two to Liz.
You scum, Karen. Selfish, lying, cheating, money-grabbing scum.
Round three to Liz. Knockout to Pat. Here, do you ever get that dream where Pat Butcher is beautiful and gets a special delivery of spring onions? New series, If, which uses a mixture of fact and fiction to scare pensioners.
The Home Secretary has declared a state of emergency. The government is advising people not to leave their homes unless absolutely necessary.
That was from week one. What if there was a big power cut? This week it was, what if the generations fall out?
Old people are dying less.
No, they're not.
We work with science.
It's Anne Robinson and her new face.
Deriving, for example, of muscle vaccines, which will be injected into the muscle to make them super strong and super youthful.
No, they won't.
You would see the emergence of cosmeceuticals, which are cosmetics and medicines working together to make you younger.
Don't be ridiculous.
Instead of having Botox, you have Photox.
You're just making out now. In the future, there will be a magic egg that when you touch it, you look just like Melinda Messenger, only taller. There'll be a special type of hanky that looks like a wet wipe, but when you blow your nose, you'll automatically solve third world debt.
You can almost smell the petrol. Bifocal windscreens and predictive steering option.
Bifocal windscreens? That's a brilliant idea, because you're probably like me. You turn up to the drive-in movie and think, oh, I've left my reading car at home. What if the BBC commissions a series where they make stuff up and pretend it's gonna happen? All right, let's just stick with it. They predict a world where the pensioners take control. Let's have a look at some of the slogans. Help, we are drowning in council tax. Play fair, can't pay, won't pay. Great power protest, pensioners lobby MPs for fair deal. Do you think our rates in the community tax are too high? If you want to do something about it, then you can. Beware the middle class backlash. When do we want it? Now. See, they're the baby boomer generation that have grown up. They're naturally militant. They grew up listening to the protest singers like Bob Dylan.
Half-racked prejudice.
We'll put the lyrics up so we can sing along then.
Rip down all hate.
For more information on tonight's scenario, digital viewers press red or go to CFAX page 155. All you can reliably say about the future is that TV is just going to get better and better. Which brings us to club reps. And Lou's in hospital with a kidney problem.
Well, they reckon, the doctors reckon, it's brought on by overdoing it. It can be brought on by too much caffeine, too much salt, too much red meat. So it could be a number of things, because I do all of them.
So what does Sarita bring in for her?
Got 2 burgers, some Kit Kats, a can of Coke, pizza fries.
Get well soon! Murder City, the new ITV cop show.
Yes, he was here yesterday. Likes to be Anne Margaret.
Has Anne Margaret been in? Oh, there you are, Anne. Oh, you look different, Anne. You've done something with your hair. Which brings us to There's Something About Miriam, a transsexual, woman above the waist, man below, and half a dozen fellas all staying in the one flat. I don't know. The more I see of Miriam, the more clues she's giving out. Flat cap. Briar pipe. Yes, she's got a whippet tied up round the back. She'd have to get into some of those outfits. Meanwhile, keep up. Meanwhile, the fellas are beginning to fall out.
Tom, come on. Sit. There's a lot of testosterone in that room.
Yeah, there's a lot of testosterone in her room as well. There was much excitement down in Emmerdale.
Look, darling, wine.
Look, darling, in the sky, metal bird. What witchcraft is this? What's that black box with little people in that come alive and attach it to the wall with the magic string? It was Marlon's birthday, too.
This is for you.
What is it?
Birthday card. It's just a silly thing from the shop. Mrs. Hawke seems to like the rude ones. I can never think of anything original to write, so it just says, Happy birthday, Marlon.
Spoil it for him. Hey, Marlon, how are you going to spend your birthday?
Can I get you any breakfast?
No, I think I'll just go back to bed, you know. Read my card and that.
That'd be nice. Yeah. I'll kill half a minute. You know, when there's an uncomfortable lull in the conversation, you're not quite sure of the best way to break that awkward silence.
I killed a girl once.
Yeah. Better go and check on the dinner. Yeah. We saw Paul there in pensive mood. You wouldn't think it was the same man who a little later was offering free piggyback rides in the Queen Vic. Wellard was back.
You're a surprise as well. Yeah, I've got you some scraps. You like
Scraps, great, my favourite. This week, Wellard joined in with the conversation.
Is Julie in trouble?
Yeah. Any chance for a biscuit? I say, any chance for a biscuit? Just to take the taste of the dog food away.
I don't know why. No one ever gives dogs chewing gum. It would be perfect for them, wouldn't it? Don't do it, kids. Don't do it. Don't give your dog chewing gum. It's bad enough them messing on the pavement without them leaving their chewing gum on it as well. Isn't it weird how people end up looking like their fuse boxes, though, eh?
Sorry, I'm just worried about Lynn at the moment. I mean,
Let's just put a few things straight, shall we?
Now, I've warned you, Paul. Get off his back. It was an accident.
You know, there are other pubs.
No, there aren't.
The kitchen's nearly as bad as in here. Surprised anybody stays.
They don't. Charlie Slater's out of stir. Yeah, he's keeping a low profile by wearing a purple jumper against a purple door and hoping that no one notices him. He's naturally a bit depressed, so what does he do to cheer himself up? He sits down to watch changing rooms. Yeah, not as good as it used to be, is it? Since Carol left. Which brings us to our extra of the week. Jay-Z, the log. And we've got him here, look. How you doing, man? How you enjoying EastEnders? You me, man. I love it. Who you been hanging out with, Paul or the Ferreiras? I've been chilling with Well Up, man. Yeah, he's chill, man. Yo, I like Pat. I don't like Nat. I like Doc. But Nana's boyfriend looks like he should be sleeping in a big cot. He looks like a big baby, man. No one walked in at the B&B. It's quieter than the nail bar on a bank holiday. Jahini's a killer queen, but I think it's better without Barry or Roy. Alfie, man, he's just plain annoying. Jay-Z's a log there. Well, we all have a dream of an ideal world, I guess.
We should be teaming up with baseball bats and banging him into the ground.
In an ideal world, we'd do that.
In an ideal world, we'll be free to choose. We can beat people into the ground with the baseball bats. Do you remember when we used to like Alfie Moon?
To most people, just plain old Alfie Moon, pub landlord, but in time of crisis, he becomes Moon Man Superhero! And with his magic powers of persuasion and his pants outside of his tights, he can conjure up $7.5 grand quicker than you can say massive lunchbox. Did it?
I found out why Alfie is the way he is.
This is Graham we're talking about.
He's the devil! Well, as you know, my marriage broke down in the week, but the good news is I've got a blind date. Yes, she should be turning up any minute.
Hi, Harry. I'm here.
Miriam?
I know all there is to know about the crying game. I've had my share of the crying game. First there are kisses, and there are sighs, and then before you know where you are, you're saying goodbye. I know all there is to know about the crying game. Crying game.
I've come here to old Mesopotamia to ask, was the Bible just a load of baloney?
Don't fuck with me, Bowen.